On DC Music Rocks, we're shining a spotlight on the great songs and incredible people behind the DC region's local music scene. So Matt Tarka is an artist from Montgomery County and describes his style as rock-inflected folk, which we definitely heard in that track right there for sure. He continues the tradition of artists such as Tom Petty, Wilco, and Carole King by weaving isolated moments of heartbreak and rejection into his songs. And yet, he's a smiley, positive dude. He's sitting here with me. I first came across this guy because one of my show coordinator, Daniel Hill, the Yellow Tie guy, helps me put this together. And he and Matt know each other, and he introduced me to Matt's music, and I've been a huge fan. So, Matt, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for talking to me.
You're welcome. I'm glad we got that out of the way. So now tell us about you. When did music enter your life? How did that happen?
Probably fourth grade. I started off playing alto sax in the elementary school and middle school band, and continued that track for about 4 or 5 years. Just playing in elementary school, middle school bands.
Sure.
And then, later on, I think what eventually happened was I was, it was baseball season when I was in early high school, and a friend of mine decided to convince my mom and dad that I should join a band that he's starting right now, and that it kind of looked like I could play bass. So without really any knowledge of what was going on, my friend Jeff decided to con my parents into buying a 4-string PV Fury bass guitar. So I think that was really, I always really enjoyed rock and roll music and stuff before that, but I think that really kind of solidified the deal. So
the 4-string bass sucked you in, huh?
Sucked me in.
That's amazing.
And a PV Basic 60 solid state amp that I just tormented my parents with for years growing up.
Oh, it sounds like such fond memories that you and them both have. Absolutely. Yeah. Now Montgomery County, were you born and raised there, or was that?
No, I'm not originally from Montgomery County. I'm originally from Hershey, Pennsylvania.
No way,
Yeah.
Like Hershey Park, Pennsylvania.
Park.
That's what we're talking about. Okay.
So I had an amusement park and a chocolate factory in my backyard. It was a charmed
Every
life.
kid's dream, right there.
A charmed life I led.
And when did you get to DC?
Late 2001.
Got it.
I came down here for work.
Awesome, and been here ever since.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. And now, what about? So obviously, music's a big part of your life. Outside of music, what do you do? Hobbies, interests? What do you got?
I'm an avid swimmer.
What does that mean?
Well,
twice a week, 3 times a week.
About
How far?
3 times a week. I usually swim consistently for about an hour or so, just continuously swimming laps. I like to focus on freestyle and breaststroke and all that good stuff. I think it's good cardiovascular activity, and
were you
it's
on
also
the swim
sort
team as a kid or something?
Meditative as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was on a swim team growing up. I think beginning in 1st or 2nd grade.
Oh wow!
And continued on through middle school. So about the time that the saxophone lessons ended was when I decided to end my time on the swim team.
Wow!
And really focused on music.
I gotcha. So lots of swimming. What else?
Let's see. I'm a huge college basketball fan.
Really? Which team?
Go Tar Heels. UNC.
There it is.
I'm a diehard Tar Heel basketball fan. It originates back to in the late 80s. I was a fan of a player named Jeff Lebo, who kind of grew up around my hometown in Carlisle. So I sort of followed his career when I was younger, and went to he and his dad's basketball camp that he had growing up around my house. So getting that sort of encouragement from somebody that I idolized, I thought, well, you know what, this seems like a good school, good college basketball school to follow. So that was my indoctrination into the world of the Carolina Tar Heels basketball.
There it is. Go Tar Heels.
History, yeah.
I love it. All right. Now, what do you have in your music collection that might surprise us?
Well, I'm a huge fan of Dinosaur Jr., even though a lot of the music that tends to fall out of my head is more, you know, folk rock, and a band like Dinosaur is just extremely aggressive from a decibel point of view.
What kind of, for those folks who don't know with Dinosaur, what kind of music is it? We're talking like hardcore heavy metal? Or is it?
I think it originated in hardcore, but it just, you know, it kind of, you know, gradually worked its way out of hardcore somehow, and it's just really, it's loud, melodic metal.
Nice.
With a little bit of a classic rock, Black Sabbath like bend towards it.
Wow.
But
all right.
But the main vocalist has, I think, a lot of influences, and you know, with Neil Young.
Got it. And
yeah.
what? And that name one more time if people want to check that out.
Oh, Dinosaur Jr.
Dinosaur Jr.
Yeah, they're a band based in Amherst, Massachusetts.
Oh, look at that.
They've been around for, I think, a little over 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they've got some history. Yeah.
And what about, so now, funniest moment that comes to mind when you think on your music career so far?
Funniest moment that comes to mind? Well, I was playing an open mic at now a defunct music venue in Bethesda, and I was playing an original song called Indigo Bunting that's off my first EP called Motorcycle Breakfast. And one of the owners of this particular establishment told me, "Hey, I really like that song, but it sounds like you're doing a really terrible job of impersonating Elvis Costello." And I was just kind of like, what the heck are you even saying right now? It sounds nothing like Elvis Costello, but, you know, if I was a sucky version of Elvis Costello at that point in time, there are worse, you know, compliments or lack thereof that could be
I could
shared with you after you perform.
I was going to say that'd be a funny moment, but I think I'd try to find a way to look at that one positively just because I got compared to Elvis Costello. So I guess, you know, if that's what he thinks of when he hears you, then there's a lot worse ways that could go. Yeah, that's for sure.
I took it a little bit, you know, I took it a little harsh at first, but afterwards I just thought, whatever.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. And what about now? Tell us about a story about a time you tried and failed.
I tried and failed. There are plenty to count, but to really just pinpoint one in particular, you know, I was at an IOTA open mic, trying out some new material, and for some reason my body temperature was going all over the place, and some of it might have had to do with the fact that it was, you know, it was over 100 degrees outside. My instrument was all out of whack. You know, I hadn't humidified it probably the way that I should have leading up to this Wednesday night open mic, and you know, my pick hand just was really clamming up. I just couldn't get my act together, and there were at least 2 or 3 instances where I just dropped my pick halfway through certain songs. It felt very deeply pathetic at the time, and you know, you get people saying, "Hey, keep going," but you know, at that point, the songs are just kind of, you know, it was sort of a done deal. I wasn't going to make a good impression with this material that I was really, you know, proud to share for the first time.
Yeah.
So,
oh man,
that was a sincere failure.
So how'd you pick yourself up off the ground for that one? Because I mean, you got to move past these things. You're still here doing this, so that didn't kill it for you.
Honestly, I just picked up the pick and said, "Well, let's give it another shot."
Right?
You know, just let's keep going. You know? Let's just keep going.
And you know, sometimes you have to do that, which is, and now, so then my favorite question to ask on this one is, if you could offer one piece of advice, what would it be?
Play shows. Honestly, play shows. You know, don't be afraid to try new material. You know, connect with your local artists. Go out and support them. You know, utilize, you know, any open mics that are happening in your hometown to meet other musicians. It's a great opportunity to not just hear new music, but potentially show swap or you set up shows with one another. I think, you know, the more opportunities you give yourself to bounce your own ideas off of your fellow artists, you know, and you create that sort of support and reciprocity. I think, you know, you grow as a person, you grow as an artist, and, you know, people, will be, they will be more inclined to come out to one of your shows and follow what you're up to on a regular basis. So
Absolutely.
it's all about, for me, it's all about, giving back to a scene that you're a part of, and, whatever way, you feel is true to you.
Yeah. I created a radio show about it, so I feel, I feel you on that. Pay it forward. Absolutely. What about, right, and so if folks want to find out more about you and follow what you've got going on, where do they go?
Well, they can go to matttarkamusic.com. The easiest way to remember my last name is that it rhymes with Parka. So it's with
you clever man, you. Look at you go.
So it's
Parka.
with a T. I just
Parka
added,
with a T.
added
Okay.
the word music, matttarkamusic.com. You can follow me on all kinds of different social media.
Yep. Which one's your favorite?
Apparati. My favorite right now is probably Instagram.
Love on Instagram.
I haven't used it as much as I've wanted to, but I really enjoy the sort of instant gratification of it. I also like Twitter.
Yeah. Okay.
Facebook's okay. I also put out a newsletter through Reverb Nation that you can sign up for as well.
Cool. And so all of these places, obviously, if they tune into those, they'll also find out about that upcoming EP you've got coming out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic. And what was that date again? September?
It's September 29th.
Nice. And it's called?
It's called Vision Hazy.